Welcome back to another episode of the Silly Little Girls Club podcast. And my guest today is the incredible Alanna Kit. Now, Alanna is a neuroscientist, casual, but also the founder of the most incredible wellness centre called ARC, which is a revolutionary community connectivity hub that also doubles as a spa. And this conversation is all about how she has taken her learnings from neuroscience and all of these science-backed theories and delivered them into this cutting-edge new wave of spas. And the conversation is so inspiring. She is incredible. I am just in awe of this woman. So enjoy the conversation. Welcome to the Silly Little Girls Club.
Love the name.
Oh my
nice
God.
to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you wanted to be on the podcast. Like, obviously Holly told me all about your spa, and I was like, oh my God, I need to know the woman behind this because
It's a vibe.
it's a vibe.
It's a vibe, yeah.
And it's so different.
Very different.
Like,
it's
actually
contrasting in
like,
Canary Wharf.
Yeah, like, but in the best way possible. And I feel like you're a neuroscientist, right? Is that the right term?
Yes.
Oh my God,
neuroscientist. Yeah.
like,
still doing my PhD though.
Okay.
We're juggling.
We're juggling. Founder, PhD student, like got everything going on. So if somebody asked you to like describe what you do then now, what would you say?
There isn't really a description, honestly. Like I just made this up as I went. But I mean, I would say like founder, neuroscientist, and exercise physiologist. I studied a lot of like exercise science and holistic health promotion before being a neuroscientist. So I don't have a background in neuroscience until I started my PhD and got into psychedelic research. So I went from studying the entire body, even like dissecting and like really learning about the body, and then moved up into the mind.
Wow.
And my whole life has been a bridge, which is kind of the name of ARC and how that came to be. We'll get there later. But that was kind of the process of like ground up. And then there is a learning curve of neuroscience. It's really hard.
I mean, just the name is hard. So I can't even imagine what it's like to actually get into that and try and fathom it in any sort of way.
That's why I struggle explaining it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a lot of bridges and like comparisons to like the natural world and human existence and consciousness and spirituality, and the whole reason why I went back into academia from startups and pharmaceutical clinical trial drug development back into academia was because I wanted to bridge the worlds of consciousness, spirituality, and neuroscience, and just like full human being and understanding the totality of it.
It just seems it's such a gigantic undertaking though.
It's like, a time thing. It's taken a decade and like a lot of hard work, but it's also like fun and a lot of like delayed gratification.
Yeah, for sure. Anything when you're doing anything on like even on a scale or something that's like, that's so big to comprehend, it is going to take time, right? Like that's
and experience too. Like about 8 or 9 years ago, I went to India and started digging into Hinduism and Buddhism and did my yoga teacher training there. Learned how to teach meditation and breath work, and then that inspired me to do my master's looking at yoga for athletes from a preventative and injury prevention approach.
Wow, okay.
So again, like with the body, and then we also learned a lot about hormetic stress and how that helps with resilience and full human potential. So there's just a lot of crossovers, and it just, honestly, it found me in my own journey, my own health journey, and like my own potential process of digging.
So it seemed quite serendipitous that it would like you'd go on this path, and then it would lead you to kind of where you needed to be.
Yeah, it was a lot of trust, but it was also a lot of like feeling lost for a long time and just like trusting the process, and just doing something out of the ordinary,
Wow.
Yeah.
That is just like crazy. So I obviously picked up there that you started in doing pharmaceutical startups and things like that. So
Mhm.
how did it come about that you went into that? And then was it the trip to India, or like what was it that sort of made it? 'Cause it's quite a shift.
Yeah. I wanted to learn all parts of healthcare
Mm-hmm.
so that I could have many perspectives and understandings of different systems
Yeah.
to make change. So I wanted to study, like, even before my master's, I was doing a bit of like pharmaceutical marketing and oncology, and then went to India and then quit and went into my master's. And so it was like a lot of like flip-flopping, and like my
God.
family is like, you're mental. What are you doing? Like, go into finance or go into medicine, like
It's
choose
not
one route.
fulfilling you, is it though, that you need to find your own
I
thing?
couldn't do it when I was like deciding and applying to different schools. Like, I was like, this just doesn't light me up.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about it. And it wasn't until after my master's when like COVID hit, I was at home, like my family has a farm, so we all kind of did lockdown there. And
Okay.
like I just like spent like 6 to 8 months figuring out what I wanted to do and
Gosh, I
mapping it
mean,
out and
that was
learning.
quite
And yeah,
transformative, isn't it? And I think I hear this a lot actually when I speak to people, that COVID has either gone one way where it was like completely unbearable and like people couldn't stand it, but also for a lot of people it was quite transformative. It gave us
totally.
time to pause and reevaluate, and also to take stock of what is super important.
Totally.
And that sounds like that was that moment for you,
Yeah.
I guess. Then
It was a big pause. And I also, there's a quote that really stuck with me, is crisis is your greatest opportunity. So I don't seek crisis and chaos, but like there is something like to be said about like chaos being a gift.
yeah.
Like we need chaos to find a new order. It was a great band from the 80s, but yeah.
That's such a nice way to look at it. I feel like it's very optimist, isn't it? That kind of thing. And I'm so pro that, because I think when you get bogged down in details and you get lost and then you can't find a way out, actually thinking and remembering quotes like that just really is, I know it's quite powerful, isn't it? Like just to be like, actually, here's an opportunity. Let's shift that way of thinking. I mean, it goes back to as simple as things like something that I learned during COVID actually was like, it's really simple, but you know when people say I've got to do something, it gives all that dread. But when you say I get to do something,
Totally.
it flips everything.
Yeah, it changes the
And
narrative.
It does, doesn't it? And I think I'm such a big fan of changing that narrative. And I think that's why, yeah, I was so excited to hear your story. Where are you actually from?
Canada.
Ah,
Yeah.
perfect.
I live on the west coast of Canada on Vancouver Island.
Oh, wow.
And I live like on a cliff on the ocean
Oh
in
my
solitude.
God.
So
That sounds dreamy.
it is dreamy, and it was definitely needed when I started my PhD, because it was just like a lot of like lab work and a lot of studying, still studying, but I just needed the time for solitude and like my own inner experience to get ready for this next chapter in London.
Exactly. So
It
how
was
did you
full
find
prep.
yourself in London then? Like, how have we gone from like this solitude and this blissful like image that I'm getting of this like idyllic movie set lifestyle to the complete carnage that is London, and the chaos maybe?
The chaos. I love the chaos. I want to say I manifested it, but like, I mean, I think I did, but I also always, I'm quite spiritual, and I ask the universe to romance me and just be romanced in the mystique. But I was minding my own business on Vancouver Island, but previous to this venture, I had tried to open different wellness centers in Canada, and through that I got like a lot of good experience and insight and perspective on what works, what doesn't work. Was also part of a startup in contrast therapy in Canada. So I was able to use a lot of my skill sets there and create different classes and teach breath work kind of conjuncted to that. But then again, I went back to do my PhD, and my co-founder serendipitously found me. He visited the space and then reached out to me on Instagram, and he was like, hey, I'm like, I'm wondering if we could have a meeting to talk about like a concept I'm like thinking about building. And this is very silly little girls, but I was a bit jaded from a lot of men in business.
Not me all.
So I was very like careful of my IP and my experience and a lot of like free information and
Yeah.
like I was a bit in a gatekeeping mode.
Well, you do sort of have to protect your. You have to protect your IP. If you get that, like, it's yours. And, like,
Yeah, and it
it's
just
so easy for people to run with something.
it happened many times and like I love again like even in the center like I love giving information and education
Yeah.
but in the right way from the right platform and the space for me. And so I was a bit guarded. And I was running a psychedelic retreat at the time because I run those in Mexico and Canada. And I was like, yeah, we can chat, but I'm $250 an hour for consulting.
Love that. Yes.
This is my worth.
Yes.
And he still holds that against me to this day. But we still got on a call. He was like, no, I'm like looking to build a team and I'm wondering if like you would be the right fit or we'd have like aligned visions. And turned out we were very aligned
Wow.
in our overall goal and vision for the space and concept. And yeah, within like 5 minutes, we both kind of knew. And it was we both run by like gut intuition and energy. And before I agreed though, I said, there's 3 requirements for me to agree to come to London and meet you guys. A, do you have a space?
Yeah.
B, do you have a team to execute? And C, do you have the funding?
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm not wasting my time.
Waste of time, exactly.
Yeah, and it's really hard to build stuff like this right now.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people want to get into wellness, but there's a lot of requirements and a lot of experience and education that is required to make it possible.
Yeah.
So then I flew out and met the team and yeah, it just felt like quite aligned and like it's a good balance between masculine and feminine and it's been really nice to be the visionary behind this and just be in my because I am like very scientific minded but also very creative, so I'm able to use both left and right hemispheres, the masculine feminine mind to create the contrast.
Yeah, and that I suppose segues us beautifully into ARC, and this is what you have built. And like, I mean, I feel like it's really got some motion behind it now. I keep seeing it in all of the publications. Like, it's amazing. So I guess so obviously I know how it came about with meeting your co-founder, but what then went into it? Like, how did you decide that this is what it's going to be? And what really is ARC as a community spa, right? You've definitely heard of Redken, right? The brand that hairdressers swear by for amazing hair care and styling. Well, I've been a hairdresser for like 20 years now, and trust me, Redken has been a staple in my kit for years. Their products just work. They are powered by science, designed for pros, and there's literally a perfect match for every hair concern, whether your hair is feeling a bit dry, damaged, or it just needs that little bit of extra love. And if you've ever wondered how we get that next level glossy colour in my salons, it's Redken. It's our secret weapon. The shine it gives hair is unreal and it actually leaves it feeling healthier, which is kind of magic. So if you're thinking about a little colour refresh, then ask your stylist about Redken. You won't regret it. Or you can find a salon near you at redken.co.uk. All right, now let's get back to what you're actually here for.
Yeah, it's a community space, but similar to my approach to wellness is looking at the micro and the macro. So I always say when I'm starting the classes or when facilitators are teaching, ARC is a space to connect. ARC is a bridge between Eastern and Western philosophies, the old and the new world, almost like Noah's Ark. Yeah. You know, we're bringing all the animals to the new world.
Get on the boat, we're going.
So it's a lot of bridging and merging and hybridizing. And it's a space to connect within yourself deeply, to connect deeper with others, and to connect with the universe. And what humans fundamentally need is connection and belonging. And that just seems to be a massive theme after COVID and with the digital world of fake connection or slight connection.
Or surface level connection.
Surface level, like even with texting, you don't get to the fullness of like someone's tone of voice, right? That's why voice notes are a beautiful way of conveying and the language and the translation between humans, right? It's very hard to be on FaceTime, you know, and feel that actual connection with
Yeah.
someone. You have to be really emotionally intelligent to be able to
Find those
connect with that
nuances as
person,
well. Yeah.
right? I think it's a big one is the eye contact as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
right? You can connect with someone on a very deep level with eye
Yeah.
contact. And I find it really interesting, even with like Gen Zs or people, you know, children that were in school during COVID and had to, you know, be in lockdown and then come back into this new form of sociability. They've lost a lot of that social awareness.
Yeah. And those
And
formative years for them as well, isn't it? When they're doing
totally.
that, it's
And
scary.
it's interesting to notice, you know, it's a bit of a tangent, but who can make eye contact and who can't,
Yeah.
and who struggles with that. And so ARC is a place of reducing um, barriers, emotional barriers, because at the root of every single human being, they need love and connection to survive and thrive.
Yes. I literally can't wait to get to ARC. I'm so excited to try it. And obviously, it's built on a concept of contrast therapy, right?
Yes.
So, what is contrast therapy to some, like, you know, to people that perhaps don't know?
Yeah, again with the arcing, it's like the oscillation between extreme heat and extreme cold.
Mhm.
So we're guiding and supporting people through this journey through scientifically backed rigor,
Yeah. This is your neuroscience
right?
part coming in, right?
And then the ritual, the traditional wisdom. So we're overlaying contrast therapy with Aufguss ritual, which is Germanic and Austrian sauna bathing culture,
Wow.
which is a multisensory experience. It uses music, scent, sound, lighting, performance. So we're using a lot of these ancient modalities with the contrast in the sauna, and then the extreme cold.
Wow.
But we're guiding people through it.
Mhm.
And what I've noticed over the years of leading contrast therapy and these classes is the guidance is very helpful for enhancing the experience and also pushing people past their comfort zone,
Yeah.
giving them a safe setting, and seeing how they can move past that area of discomfort into the growth zone,
Yeah.
into the unknown, to
Wow.
then reach their human potential, their full potential, their learning, their neuroplasticity. Yeah.
It's honestly incredible. Like, I don't even know how you'd go even about building something like this. Like, it just seems like everything did align for you. And like, why Canary Wharf of all places? Because like, you know, I'm here for the contrast, and I feel like that kind of adds to that in a way.
Yeah.
But a very like left field choice in a way.
Very left field. I mean, I didn't really know London when I came here, but Chris told me that
Yeah.
Canary Wharf is like the Wall Street of London.
Yeah.
And I tuned into it in a meditation because I get a lot of insight when I'm like just dropping deep in. And the message I got was I've always wanted to make impact and change systems. The best way to do that is to have one foot in the matrix and one foot out, and to go into the epicenter of, you know, European economy. There's bankers there, you know, there's a lot of firms, and the way we saw it is this is a great opportunity to change people's lives that are making a lot of decisions
Yeah.
for the world, and supporting them
Yeah.
in those decisions, and also focusing on recalibrating their nervous system, and allowing them to experience a shifted state, experience a different reality, a different perspective.
Wow.
Because a lot of this work is like soul work. It's
Yeah.
like heart-centered work. And
Wow.
I really believe that in order for humans to evolve, we need to balance left and right hemispheres of the brain and the heart and the brain.
Wow. My gosh, that's amazing. I suppose,
Coherence.
yeah,
Yeah.
people making those big decisions. And also, I think people that work in fast paced environments, they never get that time to take stock, do they?
Mhm.
And like work on themselves. And I think it's that age-old thing. If you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of others, and you can't progress. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that that's why these sort of things are so important. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bit of a hypocrite for talking about things like that, because I'm very much go go go, and I never do that.
Me
But
too.
yeah, and it's, I feel like at least you recognize that. I think
Definitely.
that's a step in the right direction for
I think
us.
so. And also, on the same train of like stress and but also human potential, like the desire to reach the best version of yourself. Like we're all just trying to do our best in life
Yeah.
and make the most of our lives and make an impact. And I think for someone that's been burnt out many times, it's another why I did this.
Yeah.
And learning about what my limit is, and then having that flow through life of like having that discipline but also having that surrender,
Yeah.
and knowing when to surrender and when to take that recovery,
Yeah.
and that rest, and honor that rest without feeling guilty.
That's
Right?
That's a skill.
It is.
Yeah.
I have to talk to myself. I have to tell myself, okay, Alanna, it's been a long day. You've achieved so much. It's time to sleep.
Yeah. And then, but
I
still,
tuck
do you get
myself
busy
in.
brain where you just can't like shut off sometimes?
Yeah,
Because it's exciting starting a business and
it
starting
is.
something that's so unique and so different, and then having the feedback that you've had from it. I mean, it must be a real like wow pinch me moment from that meeting with, somebody just effectively DMing you about such an incredible opportunity. It's wild.
It is wild. Every single day when I step into that space and see a class and a bunch of people and the facilitators also coming from a place of passion and love, and drive, like the facilitators, the guides, all the staff, we were so intentional about who we brought into the space that matched our values
Yeah.
and our ethics and see the vision. And I said to every facilitator, I don't want you to see us as us using you and your skills. I want you to ask yourself how you can use us
Yeah.
to benefit your life and your growth.
Yeah.
How you can learn from us, how we can learn from you. It's collaborative, it's collective rise.
Yeah. It's a partnership, isn't it? And I think something that I've learned through my journey in business is that having a value driven business and having those really strong core ethics is ultimately the best compass that you can have for anything, in attracting the right people, in helping them grow and finding the right opportunities. And I think that anybody that hasn't instilled that sort of like value driven business, I think that's something that people really should look towards, because it does really help.
It does help. And it's like, it's the longevity of the company as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just thinking about this space, I'm thinking multiple different spaces, or how we want to be in 5 to 10 years, and how today can impact that down the line.
It's so important, because like I say, because is that the ultimate dream then, to scale ARC a little bit and have like multiple different things? So it's like,
definitely,
how will you keep that consistency, and how will you keep that sort of community and culture, because it's so important to a wellness space, and can more than really anything in a way.
Yeah, for sure. And I think in the startup world, it's very easy to get caught up in the speed, the stimulus, the quick decision making. And I find like sometimes I can get lost in that sauce and think, okay, we need to make a decision really quick. But it would actually be much more productive to sit with it, take 5 minutes to meditate on it, and think, does this align with my values? Is this ethical? Like all of these decision making skills, how will this impact others? How is this a learning for others? There's also difficult conversations to have with people, right? So it's balancing all of that, and knowing that when you make a decision, is it like connected to your core internal compass?
Yeah, and it just make it a lot easier if you can have that sort of black and white almost in a way, and that's like maybe the hot and the cold.
Yeah.
It all kind of seems to align in that sort of real contrasting way.
Yeah.
I mean, is there something to be said for having these difficult conversations during an experience at ARC? Would that maybe be a way forward for people to take stock and really think about how they're answering these sort of difficult questions and conversations?
Yeah, I think like one of the pieces about ARC is like we're pushing discomfort and feeling comfort in the discomfort. And that's something that we say a lot when people are in the ice bath and
Yeah.
moving through that initial shock response where the nervous system is sympathetic,
Yeah.
fight or flight, and then moving into the parasympathetic, they then go into the rest and digest. But it's when the brain triggers to the body that it's safe
Yeah.
to surrender and let go.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know when you get to that point. Like, it's like incredible that science backed like education and all the things that you've brought to this experience. It's like I've never heard of anything like it, which is why I'm
Really?
so like excited that this is in London, and it's just it sounds so transformative for people. And I'm just like, the response, like I say, have you got like quite a regular sort of roster of people that come now and everything?
Yeah, we're starting to get a lot of people coming back and like finding certain classes that they like,
Yeah.
because there's upregulating classes that
Mhm.
are, more yang, where, you need a quick jolt in the
Yeah.
morning. Those are more morning focused. I
Mhm.
wanted to look a lot at like circadian rhythm and like the sleep-wake cycle.
Yeah.
So the morning classes are very like naturally inducing for cortisol and norepinephrine, which is like energy and focus,
Yeah.
which is great for, people in Canary Wharf
Exactly. I was thinking
starting their
that.
day. You don't need like 3 coffees in the day.
No.
And then you have a better sleep in the evening because you have that natural cortisol wave
Wow.
or curve. And then the evening classes are more down regulating, so like sleep optimization. We have a class called Dopamine Reset, which is very applicable to like this digital age of
Yeah.
like instant gratification, quick notifications. And it just helps just slow the stimulated mind for sleep. We have like happiness hack, which increases like serotonin and endorphins and like brings about like a childlike play,
Wow.
which we need.
Yeah,
We need to
definitely
play.
need that. We lose that as we get older, don't
We forget to play.
Literally, I think there's something so simple in those. It's when you break it down and you think about like the experiences that we had as kids, we naturally sort of did that, and as we get older, we just completely forget.
Yeah,
It's
which really
insane.
impacts our brain. Actually,
Yeah.
we're less
I'm
curious.
convinced it's
Like,
because we become more risk adverse, and it's like you've got no care and no inhibitions when you're a kid, right? But as
right.
you get older, you're suddenly grossly aware of like mortality and all of these different things. And
Yeah.
so finding these sort of, I feel like it's like almost like you've found this life hack where you can totally like navigate this back, which is like incredible.
Yeah, it's almost it's inducing a peak experience, a shifted state of awareness, of consciousness, shifted state in the body physiologically. Yeah.
It's amazing. Do you think that you will sort of bring in, obviously you're doing the neuroscience backed like theories behind it, but I know you mentioned these psychedelic things that you did as well. Is that something that you will bring to ARC, or is that sort of in there already?
Well, I mean, I would love to turn it into a clinical trial site for psychedelics. How cool would that be?
That would be so cool.
I don't know if London's ready for that.
No. I think maybe they are. They just don't know it.
I mean, it's actually been really cool to connect with other psychedelic neuroscientists in London, because there's Imperial College of London, which is doing some of the most interesting psychedelic research at the hospital there as well. And there's University College of London, where they're opening up a center of consciousness meditation and psychedelics.
Wow.
Which is really cool.
That is like really cool.
Yeah.
It's giving me like, flashbacks like the 70s when everyone
Definitely
was just happy and like living their best lives.
I think I was originally born in the 60s and 70s, and then I
got
reincarnated back in the 90s.
I always think like that would be the golden age to have been alive. Like I'm so stuck in that sort of world, like with the music and the fashion and the interiors. I love it. And I think there's something to be said about that feeling that evokes. And it's like we lost that completely.
We lost that. There was a lot of play involved with that, but
and connection with people
and
in a
connection
world.
Totally. I think it's been interesting to see like psychedelics just start to emerge in the 60s and 70s, and then Nixon nipped it in the butt, and then the psychedelic renaissance again, like early 2000s it started, and now it's coming back into the shroom boom. And obviously other psychedelics, but I think it came at a beautiful time. It's almost like we weren't ready in the 60s and 70s, and again with COVID, it was like a radical shift in consciousness and people reevaluating their lives. And there's a lot of people wanting to go deeply inward and have these experiences because something isn't fulfilling.
Yeah.
We're questioning our lives and our existence and the systems, right? And, shifting into this new age, psychedelics are providing a huge opportunity of reevaluating and, again, optimizing. And psychedelics, breath work, contrast therapy, all of these things have common threads, which is hormesis, and that translates to healthy stress. So there's that initial stress response where you're, pushing and finding your edge and going into that discomfort, and your brain is firing off the region of the brain called the amygdala is the fear response, which is connected to the prefrontal cortex, which is executive functioning that makes decisions.
Yeah.
Also connected to the region of the brain called the hippocampus, which is involved in memories. So your previous experiences are dictating your fear response and your decision making. And it's a cascade. And all of these modalities hit those regions, which is involved in the ego or the default mode network. And it's triggering that initial fear response. But if you break through that ego, if you break through that judgment and that discomfort, there's a huge opportunity of pleasure and bliss and peace on the other side and learning. And so all of these are pushing the discomfort, but also enhancing neuroplasticity, enhancing your physiology, your cognition.
You've definitely heard of Redken, right? The brand that hairdressers swear by for amazing hair care and styling. Well, I've been a hairdresser for like 20 years now, and trust me, Redken has been a staple in my kit for years. Their products just work. They are powered by science, designed for pros, and there's literally a perfect match for every hair concern, whether your hair is feeling a bit dry, damaged, or it just needs that little bit of extra love. And if you've ever wondered how we get that next level glossy colour in my salons, it's Redken. It's our secret weapon. The shine it gives hair is unreal, and it actually leaves it feeling healthier, which is kind of magic. So if you're thinking about a little colour refresh, then ask your stylist about Redken. You won't regret it. Or you can find a salon near you at redken.co.uk. All right, now let's get back to what you're actually here for. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder that you have got so into this study. It's so interesting. I could literally pick your brains about it all day. Like, it's all these things that you never consider. And I think that's what's so special about what you've brought with ARC, is just this completely new way of it's just reinventing, like, this, the wellness spa, like, you go and you sit there and you're bored and you're on your phone, but having this like guided pathway through, like, life-changing.
Yeah, and I think the guidance and the ritual is a really interesting piece. That is almost being revitalized in this modern world, because historically, for like thousands of years, if not more, like humans partaked in ritual and practices together as a community. And there's something to be said about the experience that brings, is the camaraderie, the connection, going through that. And, even historically, saunas have been around for thousands of years. There's sweat lodges in Mesoamerica, North America, the sauna rituals with Finland and Sweden, the Ukrainian, Russian, Eastern European banya, all of which looked at, purification and connection.
Yeah, they're all about bringing people together, weren't they? And like, you have that shared experience. And I mean, there's a whole thing about going, like, it's kind of changed, because I guess people that were doing those rituals would connect and talk and like build things together within, like, build connections in those saunas and things. But now you just sit there in your town and you think, oh God, who's looking at me? You're so in your own space that I think having that guided sort of ritual and stuff would take you out of that completely, right? So you could get out your own head and you can really sort of, like, as you say, let go. Which is wild. I'm just like, think it's incredible. A few things that I wanted to pick like just to talk about was, like, obviously the contrast of going from Canada to London, and doing all of that. Is that some of you? Are you kind of like, what's the future like for you? Is it in London, or do you want to like expand this back? Or
Yeah, I mean,
how long have you been in London now?
2 months.
Oh, is
3
that
months.
it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Everyone's always shocked, asking me like, "Oh, where in London do you live?" I was like, "I split time
Yeah.
between like Vancouver Island, Toronto,
Yeah.
and London." Which is fun. It's like a fun time in my life
Yeah.
to bop around and
Think of the air miles.
yeah, exactly.
That's great.
Air miles are high right
Yeah.
now. But I am looking at finishing up some psilocybin research in Canada,
Mhm.
and I've actually been given an opportunity to finish my PhD in London with UCL,
Oh, amazing.
looking at the scientific effects of contrast therapy. So, the cognitive and physiological effects
Oh,
of contrast therapy and ritual,
oh, it's like you
especially.
have access to all this, like, you know, your own spa. You can like
Yeah.
literally
So I'm
use
like, I
it
might
as
as well use this to
yeah.
collect research.
Yeah.
That's the vision of finishing up my PhD there, and also trying to get involved in, psychedelic trials
Yeah.
in London.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah,
That's
that's the
yeah.
goal and aim.
I feel like this manifesting that you did is really just helping you navigate this part of life.
It does work. Joe Dispenza, he's got like some truth to what his
Onto
work is.
something. Like, I mean, from like a scientific background, like I'm guessing that, you know, it's more aligning the behaviors, right, that manifesting does, but it's tied up in a nice pretty package that people like to eat called manifestation.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. I think, yeah, one thing that I have looked into a lot is manifesting, because I think it's just such an interesting thing to help you align to your goals. And I think for me, that's what I look for in that kind of thing. And I'm like, wow, how can you then use contrast therapy to even make it more clear so that you can reach your goals and stuff like that?
There's a beautiful time to manifest actually during contrast therapy, I would say. It's like, after the 15-20 minutes in the sauna, your heart rate is high, blood pressure is high, the heat brings up a lot of emotions and fire. It's like the element of fire, so it can bring up anger, frustration, just like general anxiety. And then going into the ice bath, contrasting with the extreme cold, you're still surrendering to the ego, you're still surrendering to the mind. But if you can break through that ego and the mind, there's a beautiful moment of increased neuroplasticity and like extreme calmness of the nervous system. And when you're in that liminal space, that's a beautiful time to visualize goals and your preferred reality.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then oh, I really just can't. I feel like meeting you is so serendipitous as well, because I'm like, you know, you get to that point in your life where it's like you are at burnout and things like that, and you can feel it, and you're like, right, it's like things are brought to you, and when you need them, I'm like, oh my god, I really need to go to ARC. Like, I feel like this is gonna help.
I'm starting to look at burnout as like almost a gift, because it's just your body's way of telling you, okay, I need to like either reevaluate my life or take a step back and
Like,
start to
chill the
like,
fuck out.
yeah, and just like honor stress and like revel in it.
Yeah.
I think it just it pushes you into the change that you might be fearful of or resisting and avoiding. So it just like it makes you look at your shit.
Yeah. Again, I just love your optimism with all of this. It's so refreshing. It's just like I've never had a conversation with someone where it's like, yeah, burnout is good. And I feel like, but it can be, I suppose, when you look at it that way and you flip it and you change that narrative. And I think
change in the narrative.
That's what I think you and ARC are doing. And I think it's incredible. I have a few quick fire questions to finish on. I always like to do this. It's quite fun. So it's obviously a little peek into your own wellness world, I guess. So first question is your daily non-negotiable.
Ooh, daily non-negotiable is meditation. I really try to meditate first thing in the morning, even if it means laying in bed for half an hour and just being like, okay, I'm not getting up yet. I'm not ready. I'm in like this like queen mode when I first wake up or try to. Meditation is super, super important for me. Non-negotiables. I'm gonna sound like an anti-toxic queen right now, but like I'm really picky on water.
Okay.
And I believe that water is super important for our cellular structure and our DNA. And we are composed of like 85% water. So I'm very careful on the water that I drink.
Okay.
So
what is your preferred water? I guess I'm like, well, I have to ask now.
I mean, at home, I have like this Japanese structured water machine that alkalizes it. And then I'll like say my intentions with it and connect it to my heart because the frequency of our heart is like higher than any other frequency of our body.
Oh my God, I'm literally obsessed. I need a reality TV show that follows you around and shows all these things.
I'm obsessed with like good quality water.
Yeah.
And I'm very particular on what I consume, that be food, music, people around me. I consider myself to be like an energetically sensitive being. So I'll listen to like sound healing frequencies while I'm working or meditating. But that just helps keep me.
Yeah.
And my true essence. But yeah, the water
The
and the
water?
meditation. Super simple.
Yeah.
And grounding.
Yeah.
Oh, because I grew up like in the countryside, in the forest, like I am noticing after this time in London, I need to find like a space to put my feet barefoot on the ground.
You need to be careful in London when
I
you're
know,
doing that.
I know.
Oh my God. So I wouldn't be walking around Hyde Park without my shoes on.
I haven't done it yet, but I'm heading back to Canada later this week, and I'm just really excited to stand barefoot on the ground and just like let the earth connect with you, because you connect with the earth's frequency.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of research on grounding.
Oh yeah, I've heard. Yeah, it's one of those things.
For like lowering inflammation, like in a massive way. I even have like a grounding mattress cover for when I sleep. So I've like.
Why am I envisioning like turf?
It's super cozy when I fall asleep with the turf. That's how I put myself to bed. I don't like the term biohacking either. I think it's like a little bit overused and a bit too techy.
Yeah.
But in this digital age, we do need to merge with technology, and we're in this process of reconnecting back to nature at the same time that technology is massively exploding. But I think there is a reason why technology and our return to nature is happening at the same time, and we are kind of mimicking nature in a way through all of these biohacking techniques. But it can't be fully mimicked yet with technology. But
also, I think it's about craving the balance, isn't it, as well? Like, because we know how toxic and how bad for all this screen time and this digital consumption can be. Yeah. And so grounding yourself and having that sort of contrast to do things like that it does seem to always, a yin needs a yang, right? And I think that kind of, we naturally know as humans, but we crave what we need almost in a way, right? And maybe that helps. I don't know. Other question, most unexpected wellness habit that you swear by?
I mean, I think I answered that with the water.
Yeah, I think you might have.
Honestly,
Good quality water.
I think water is so important. There's so much that we still need to learn about water and how it affects our cells. Another unexpected one that I'm a bit weird about is because I sweat so much in the sauna and even through exercise, like the excretion pathways and detoxification pathways, I'm always like, for the past 6 years, I've been obsessed about different forms of detoxification and purification of the body. However, when we sweat a lot, we lose a lot of minerals, and our food systems have also been quite stripped of minerals due to like lack of diversity in foods as well. And again, with the water, like, there's a lot of water in fruits and vegetables and such, and those are all structured. But remineralization of the body is really important for like major main pathways in the body. So we need to have sufficient minerals in our body to operate properly.
Where do you get your minerals? So what do you do?
It'll be either a mix of shilajit, which is a resin from the Himalayan mountains.
Okay.
And you just kind of mix that into your water or coffee. My friend puts it in his coffee. Or I will just take trace minerals, which are drops. Mine are from the States. I think they're taken from like some fresh water supply, and then but I'll take those every single day.
Oh my God, amazing.
And
So
salt.
that's a non-negotiable then as well, isn't
Definitely.
it? Perfect. And then finally, the advice that you would give yourself 5 years ago today.
Oh, just trust.
That was like that pivotal point in COVID, wasn't it? So,
I was like in bed, like depressed, like really. I went through a lot. You're saying I'm like super optimistic, but I also went through so much shit and darkness and suffering. And it's almost like my soul was craving that true depth and experience to be able to hold space for people in those spaces and see people where they are. And also to birth the true light within you in that darkness. So in those moments of depth, I would have told myself, just trust that you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Trust.
Yeah, and it's easy. Hindsight is such a wonderful thing, isn't it? When you're in those dark times, and and if you could just go back and whisper, just trust. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? But
trust is a teacher. Hindsight is a teacher.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's something that we can then share with our wisdom to others, and
we like to think it's a teacher. Sometimes it's an asshole.
Yes,
most of the time it's a teacher.
It's definitely an asshole too.
Sometimes. But anyway, well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my God,
this was really fun.
It was such a lovely conversation, and I'm so happy that you came on the podcast. And
Me too.
Just being around you is so lovely. Like you just have
likewise
such a nice energy and just so calming, and it's just lovely.
It's the minerals in the water.
Minerals in the water. Like she's finding a Japanese water spa now, whatever it is. Like that's it. My other half's gonna be like, Sam, what are you on about? I'm like, I need the minerals, I need this water. It's on the frequency.
The structured water.
Like that's it. And then I've been running around Loughton where I've moved to without my shoes on, and he will think I've gone crazy then. So.
I think some of us are already on the way there. So
it's more fun there. But anyway, right. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
While I have you, it would really help me out if you could just hit follow or subscribe, depending on which platform you're getting your podcast from, and I can keep bringing you these amazing conversations with these incredible guests. And I will see you next week on the Silly Little Girls Club.